the same color as his shorts. And the referee telling him he needs to cool it or he's not going to be afraid to throw him in the box. The Sun Devils showing a little bit of swagger.
Puck stuck in front, and Lane, as it looks like the referee was seeing, looks like Klein and D'Souza both going at each other, and finally members of both sides are finally going to the box.
And interesting, it's not going to be Larson and White, as it was D'Souza that was getting into it with Klein in the circle.
Looks like it's going to be D'Souza and Klein both exiting the period a little early. As listed now by the scorekeepers, it's going to be a 2-minute minor call. And it's going to be 4-on-4. As the referee is trying to communicate that to the Sun Devil bench, and Jared Hull is going to be the one being taken off. So Budman's there in position to get that one-timer shot if he's able to. Puck's stuck right there on the circle, and that'll do it for this second period. And in case some of the folks at home missed it, it was a nice goal by Levi Holston on the power play to be able to cut the lead to 2 for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, and you thought the Sun Devils were going to go into the period, finish the period, go into the intermission down 3 after some rough defensive play and mental lapses really killed them late in the period. But Levi Holston with a great effort, a solo effort really, to get out there and get them that goal that gets the lead down to 2 for the Sooners. And you can tell the Sun Devils are getting in the heads right now of Oklahoma. And I think that shows a good sign for a little bit of fight that the Sun Devils are going to show in the final frame.
Yeah, because it looked like, especially near the end, in the middle of that second period, the Sooners looked like they were coming in waves and waves and really gaining momentum that second period. But again, a sign from the Sun Devils of them being able to show some fight back, coming and getting that goal in the end of the period.
Spot on.
Well, folks, thanks to you again for staying with us as we're having some technical difficulties with the internet. And we'll be back and hopefully fix those issues in about 15 minutes at the end of the second period with a 4-2 Sooners lead over the Sun Devils. This is the Arizona State Hockey YouTube channel. Sun Devils ended up being able to get a goal near the end of the period to cut the lead down to 2. Bradley Budman trying to weasel his way in, and that'll be taken away by Clayton Brown. We have just started the third period. Jet Larson enters in the zone onside. He floats one over to Kowalchuk on the backhand, looking for a redirection from Geely. A little too far away from him. Healy, give and go pass with Budman. Budman tries to center that in front, and that'll be sticked away by Joy. Hustling to keep that puck in is Kowalchuk. And the roof being so low got the best of an opponent. This time it was Cameron Brown for the Sooners, and the draw is going to be in the Oklahoma zone. Sooners unable to change as the Sun Devils have a fresh 4-man unit out. Jogger Larson and Clayton Brown in the circle to the left of Phil Babb, the goaltender. Draw one by Sun Devils. Sullivan tries to get that shot through, gets a second shot through, finally gets to the goaltender Babb. Miller digging for it. Sullivan dumps it down low. Brown out of the reach of his defensive partner Violo. York, toe drags it, still has the control of the puck. Wheels back up and gets a weak shot on, and that'll be patted away by Babb. Sullivan, under a minute left on 4-on-4 auction. They'll come to Jogger Larson, but he couldn't pull the triggers. Brown was there to poke it away. Down low. York engaging in the offensive end. Violo has to eat the check from York, and he gets the puck. Backhands that to Sullivan, and it's whistled down as a looked like Joe Violo ended up going into the boards a little bit awkwardly, and now for the third time tonight, the athletic trainer Jacob is going to have to go and tend to the aided player.
And a busy night for the athletic training staff for Arizona State. Never like to see the injuries in hockey, but it's a fast physical sport, and every now and then they are going to happen. And especially you see there's a lot of speed being showcased right now with the 4-on-4 going on for both teams.
So we're going to have a stoppage in play and letting everyone know that you can catch tomorrow night's game between these same teams, number 14th ranked University of Oklahoma Sooners and Arizona State Sun Devils tomorrow, starting at 7 o'clock, 6:55 Arizona Standard Time with 6:30 warm-ups. A big weekend coming in for the University of Oklahoma, as right now they're ranked 14th, trying to solidify their spot in their hopes of going to Dallas for the national tournament. And now a really interesting hire by the Sooners for their head coach this season.
Yeah, it's the native of Oklahoma City, Josh Burge, who came in this summer and was hired by Oklahoma to take over for the team. And Josh had a good record coming in, as he previously coached in the Western States Hockey League, where he had 172, 62, and 13 record over 4 seasons. And he certainly has brought in a level of coaching that Oklahoma's happy to have.
Beam. Backhands that one on front, as it was a little tough for the forward Zachary Parr to try to handle that, and now the Sun Devils get it out of their own zone. Holston gets pinned to the ice and gets back up and dusts himself off. Boss, as he felt the footstep of Levi Holston coming, he ends up dumping the puck into the Arizona State bench, making sure the Sun Devils are awake in there.
And Brett, as we take a minute here for our Southwest Airlines scoreboard around the ACHA, we have a few scores that are in today. Coming out of Bird Arena, we have Ohio University, who absolutely took it to University of Pittsburgh 12-0. And also Lindenwood University beat the University of Illinois 2-1 in Illinois. And we also have University of Arkansas in action right now against Colorado State. Arkansas is up 4-2, as we thank Southwest Airlines for being the official airline of the ACHA.
As Wiggins looks like is deemed to be touching the puck, and that's going to negate the icing call. Centered in front by Lester. Will come all the way out to the defenseman, Michael Perez. 17:30 in this third period, still fresh and new. It's a 4-2 Sooners lead. Zachary Pard gets around the defenseman, Studioso. Palumbo on the back check as Michael Perez just misses Pard. Puck comes right out in front. Wilson tends that away. Giamona gets that shot on, and that'll miss to the right. White lines up for that, and that's blocked by Palumbo. Wiggins couldn't handle it, and it's finally poked away by Studios, and the Sun Devils go for a change. Wilson on his offhand. Wilson coming in for the snapshot, and that'll be deflected by Studioso in the corner. Demon a little too strong, out of the reach of Cotton. That'll be Lazaric putting that in the neutral zone. Sun Devils are going to have to touch up low, and they finally do as Lazaric is behind his own net. Taken away by Demon. Cotton tries to pull the trigger, but he gets awkwardly thrown down. Wilson, cross-ice play to Lara. Lara with that shot on, and George is able to find it and not allow a rebound.
Eric Cotton looked like the rifle jammed as he was going for that shot. The self-proclaimed speedster and skillster, as he told us, he likes to use his speed and his hands to work it around the defense and create opportunities when given to him. He's not the biggest guy, but hopefully a little bit of offense is what he can inject into this Arizona State team.
Gavin Klein digging for it. Lara's backhand shot misses. Come over to the other side ball. Lara with the shot. Another miss on the attempt. Boss keeps it in for the Sooners. Kowalczyk sticks it up, and the Sun Devils with the intricate play gets out of their own end. Yager Larson now in the corner as him and Boss meet each other. Bobbing for it, it'll come out for the Sooners. Wilson, a nice fancy play, gets up to his forehand, but puts it in Lara's skates. Budman will intervene, but gets it taken away by White. Sooners are offside, and that'll allow Zachary Kowalczyk to skate it out for Arizona State. Cross-ice play. Gavin Klein on his backhand. Hits the brakes, turns up, looks for that redirection, and just wide as it was a quick tip from Geely. Miller gets his shot blocked. It'll come back around. Miller again. Centers that one in front, trying to find Yager Larson. Klein now has it, and it's a little too high on the snapshot. Yager Larson trying to get there, unable to. White turns it over right in front, but luckily his forward Wilson's there. He gets it stripped away, though, by Klein. And the one-timer shot from Yager Larson, he fans on it, not getting good wood. And it's finally cleared all the way down, and Oklahoma's going for a change.
It looked be a little friendly fire there, Brett, as Luke White took one right in the dome on the clearance attempt. After some good hard work by Arizona State, generated some good opportunities. Again, that Geely line out there generating the offense when Arizona State desperately needs it.
Handcuffing Babb as he'll freeze. It was a nice shot by Jet Larson that'll allow Arizona State an offensive zone draw with 14:32 in this third period.
And I have to say, I think that's just a little bit of a trickle-down effect going back to the last shift, because Arizona State, they needed to get that zone entry. They were having trouble getting out of their zone. And at the end of a long shift, it was Zachary Kowalczyk, Mr. 100, who made the play to draw in the forecheckers to him, take a hit, and then dish the pass off where Geely was able to get in the zone easily for Klein.
Miller gloves it down, eats the check, and ends up falling, and he turns the puck over. Sooners with numbers. Jolly on the right side. Jolly trying to find somebody, goes for the short angle shot instead and misses. Lazaric keeps it in for the Sooners. Joy now cycling down. Puck's on edge. Jet Larson trying to find it. He can't. Joy up to point to Jolly. Jolly fans on the shot. Dumped down by D'Souza. It looks like that dump goes a little too high off the netting, and the whistle will be blown.
And some better work from Miller for Arizona State. He was working a little harder on that shift and was able to beat the forward for Oklahoma to the net and clear that puck out. If you're Joshua George, you love to see that, because your job's to make that first save, and it's the defenseman's job to clear out any rebound that comes right in front of him. A good job by Miller to clear that one out and alleviate the pressure.
White. That'll be a hard rim right off the glass. Cotton ends up turning the puck over at the blue line. and that'll be punched away by George. Hurl. Lead the check of Studioso had to kick the puck as the stick is out of his hands. Oh, and a nasty deflection as Perez was trying to get in front of it. Ended up leaving a nasty deflection, and George had to react. Thrown in front. Studioso has a new stick off the bench. And now he's coming down in the offensive end. Studioso gets a weak shot on, and that'll come out to Demon. Demon needs to check from D'Souza. Down in the corner, Isaac Boss flips it up. Perez will kick it and keep it in for the Sun Devils. Demon with a snapshot on, and that'll be blocked by the stick of D'Souza. As Sooners will try to go for a quick change with 13 minutes in this third period. It's a 4-2 Sooners lead. Cotton finding Wiggins, but Wiggins, a soft play, ends up getting that puck taken away. But he gets it right back, though. And then he gives it right back away. He's a giver and a taker, Michael Wiggins. And that puck goes all the way down for an icing call.
And Brett, a chance that goes begging for the Sun Devils. There's not too many times you can pick it off at the opposing blue line and have a 3-on-1. And it looks like everyone was trying to move with their arms linked together as nobody's separated. And then it was a really poor pass. I believe it was from Wiggins or Palumbo that basically gave it away to the defense. And you could hear the groans from the Arizona State bench all the way up here in our press box.
Giamona, hard off the glass, but it'll be gloved down and deemed a hand pass by the back referee. And with 12:28 left, the faceoff will have to go back in the defensive zone for the Sun Devils. Gosh, on that shift, Wiggins did so hard and worked so well to try to retrieve the puck, but just gave it away. I think he gave it away more times than the Salvation Army on that shift. Now with speed. Yager Larson on the right side with the shot on, blockered away by the goaltender Babb. Michael Beam cutting through the middle on his forehand, going around Kowalchuk, and that's a nice poke check by George using his goaltender's stick. Klein. He'll skate out backwards and coming into the offensive zone now. Tight turn, and he'll get thrown into the boards. Budman was able to read the pass and now takes an errant shot and allows a 2-on-1 opportunity for the Sooners. Lara trying to center that one in front. And Mr. 100, Zachary Kowalchuk's able to nice pass block to keep that puck out. And that stick pass is going to allow the Sun Devils to change all 5 men. 11:30 in the third period.
Good job by Budman to get back and deny that 2-on-1 opportunity.
Come for the stretch pass again. Wilson on the right side. He'll center that through. Not finding a Sooner player. Passar eats a check from Holston. York goes the D-to-D pass as Miller will flip it up in the air. Sullivan for the Sun Devils. And Jet Larson couldn't handle that. Is now down in the corner. Wilson wheels it out of his own zone. Evading the forechecker, comes to Lara. Lara gets hit by Miller, and the Sooners will get it 200 feet and go for the change. Puck's gonna be played by Babb. He'll leave it for Giamona. Giamona rims it around and allow the Sooners to go into the offensive zone. Brown cutting through, and Kowalchuk will elbow him down. And he throws him down again, gives him a rough ride in the boards. No call on the play. Miller having trouble with it as the Sooners being really aggressive. Joy almost able to cause a turnover for the Sooners. Eric Cotton now trying to help his defense. Carroll's in there. Shot blocked by Kowalchuk. Cotton trying to race there, he's unable to. And a smart freeze by Joshua George to allow the Sun Devils for a change. Up in the ice. Budman on the backhand pass, and that gets intercepted by Hunter Lane. Lane gets thrown down by Budman. D'Souza and Budman meet in the corner. As they're kicking at the puck. Keeley's getting pressured by the defenseman Boss as he has to retreat back in his own end. Puck's out in front, trying to find it, and it's finally blown dead by the referee.
And Brett, an interesting nugget that we have not had the chance to mention tonight is about the head coach for the Sooners, Josh Birch. He actually had a chance in college to get a scholarship to Minnesota State University, ended up having to decline to injuries. But you can see the Sooners have great leadership at the helm with Birch leading the charge.
Trying to chop at that puck was Holston, but he couldn't get it out. Pard shakes the check off from Perez and the short angle shot, and George is able to fight to that post. Sullivan with his head up, missing Jetson on the pass behind him. On the left side, Isaac Boss will take it in himself. Boss loses control of the puck, and that will allow Jet Larson with speed to come out of the zone. Larson, oh, and he gets thrown down as the stick goes flying as Isaac Boss was trying to get a piece of Larson, and he just got out of the way at the blue line. Kenneth Miller, cross corner, dumps that. Eric Cotton trying to keep it in for the Sun Devils, and he does. 8 minutes in this third period, and the Sooners are leading 4-2. Lazaric enters in. It looked like his line mate Lara on that was a little too eager, and it's offside. Been a very competitive game tonight here at Oceanside Ice Arena, and we say thank you so much to our loyal viewers tuning in tonight on Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Healy for Arizona State in the offensive zone. Got it caught up in his skates, and it'll be sticked away by the Sooners. It'll come to Lazaric, a big defenseman for the Sooners. And they're trying to chip that puck in, and it goes into the Oklahoma bench, and we'll have a whistle.
And Brett, an interesting note about the Oklahoma record this year. They're 12-8 coming in tonight, 5-3 on the road with an extra shootout loss tacked on. But if you look at their schedule, they've had 4 losses this season come at the hands of Lindenwood, who are #1 in the ACHA and have held that #1 spot virtually the entire season. Extremely impressive from Oklahoma, given how many times they've had to play top-end talent, where they've been able to take themselves. And I think a testament to Arizona State for being able to stay in against a good team like Oklahoma.
Puck will be dumped down all the way by Budman. Bab's going to come out and play it. Lara throws it back to his defenseman. It'll be the pass from Cameron Brown, intercepted by Budman. Little miscommunication by the Sun Devils in the neutral zone, and they have to go back in their own zone. 7 minutes left. It's a 4-2 Sooner lead. Yager Larson gains the blue line, puts it over to Klein. Klein, the shot, he scores! Just a quick release from Gavin Klein to get it from Larson. And on that regroup, the Sun Devils claw their way back, and they're down 1, 4-3.
And Brett, he's been my favorite Sun Devil tonight. Gavin Klein, he's had a nose for the net, likes to get in there and get dirty where it counts. And a great entry from Yager Larson. He goes backhand, forehand, dishes it into the slot to Klein. And Klein with some soft hands as he collected that and all in one motion moved it to the forehand and rifled it. The keeper had no time to get set and get his angle correct. A great job by Klein, a shooter's mentality, and it's a 1-goal hockey game.
Finally being able to showcase what head coach Tate Green wants this identity of this team to be able to outwork the opponent every shift and not give up, and they have done so far, trying to claw their way back into this one. So it looks like the stats and tallies are finally getting marked by the scorekeeper, and we're able to continue. Jolly's going to dump that in for the Sooners. Studioso has to hurry as Joy's right on him. Jet Larson's going to be able to clear to the neutral zone. Aiden Sullivan's going to race to it, and he gets there. Sullivan hits the brakes. Still has it. Sullivan finally feeds it to Larson, but he gets thrown down from behind by Jolly and can't pull the trigger. And then finally gets the shot off as Jack York and misses. It's going to be a tight end to the third period as the Sooners now only have a 1-goal advantage. York. He'll find Jet Larson. A nice move. Allows him to enter in the offensive zone. York trying to slow that one down. Backhand shot. Rebound in front. Gets blocked by Brown. Another shot. Palumbo, it's up in the air. Sticked up in the air by Aiden Sullivan. And Babs able to position himself in front and frees the puck.
Sun Devils are really feeling it. And Brett, I think we need to mention that for the rest of this period, they're going to be without Yager Larson, who got a 10-minute misconduct. Not sure what happened after the whistle, but he's going to be missed as he's been a pest all night, and he's generated good chances. You saw it just on that last goal, the great pass to get it to Klein. So it's going to take something deep from within Arizona State to dig deep and come out and try to get this tying goal.
Giaroma rims the puck out to the neutral zone. Arizona State's going to have to touch up. Puck's up in the air. Giamona's second effort, unable to gain the offensive zone for the Sooners. Klein went around it in his own zone, still has the puck. Evading a few Sooner checkers, finally gets brought down to the ice by Del Casel. Giamona D2D with White. They play it behind their own net. Sooners have to be careful trying to evade this forecheck of the Sun Devils. It ends up getting stripped away. Puck's floating in front. Bubman on his backhand, gets the backhand shot through, and the rebound was juicy, but it was Giamona the one to find it first. Budman backhands that pass, a little too hot to handle. Sun Devils have to be careful with too many men. Has good communication from the bench. Not allow that penalty to happen.
Good heads-up play.
Jet with a soft dump in. That'll find Levi Holston. Holston with that wrist shot on. Babb puts it to the side. Sullivan gets thrown to the boards by Cameron Brown, but he still has the puck. Up to the point is Jet Larson. Larson. Isaac Voss on him. It'll be down to Aiden Sullivan. Puck's just glued to that boards and to the kick plate. Not able to get it to the front of the net. Holston tries to center that in front. That'll be sticked away. Point shot in front. Holston, and he scores! Levi Holston. He's bought some real estate in front of the crease, in front of the goaltender Babb, and he's got 2 tonight. And the game is tied 4-4.
And what do you say, Brett? We got a tie game. A great effort from Holston again. Where does he score the goal? Right in front of the net. He plants himself right in front of the goaltender Babb, screens him, tries to get a tip on the puck, and then just picks up that juicy rebound. As you mentioned, Babb's been given a few of them out tonight, and Holston made no mistake potting that one home.
And the Sun Devils have finally tied this game at 4 with 4:30 left in this third period, and we're in for a wild ride here at Oceanside Ice Arena. Mazarek, D2D with White. White on the regroup finds Pisnar. Pisar has to dump it all the way down. Goaltender George will leave it for Miller. Miller almost gets that puck taken away, still has it. Studioso, a hard rim. Hurl trying to get it out for Arizona State. Puck's in front. Wilson trying to keep it out. And it's now John Studioso for Arizona State. Couldn't get that puck all the way down deep. Luke White. Over to Lara. Lara on the drop pass to White. Sticked away by Holston. Coming in, Pisnar. Pisnar tries to center that one, and that'll float all the way through. Luke White getting hounded by Jet Larson. Giamona is able to clear that all the way to the neutral zone and allow the Sooners for a change. And the Sun Devils a little too eager as the Sooners were caught out with a bad change, and Jet Larson comes into the zone offside.
And a chance goes begging, Brett, but you love the effort. You can tell Arizona State knows that they're back in this game right now, tied up against the 14th ranked Sooners, and they're showing a lot of fight. The Sooners on their heels, not really sure how to cope with this aggressive forecheck by the Sun Devils as they're starting to win battles on battles.
Sun Devils win the draw. Kowalczyk on his backhand. Finds Jet Larson. Larson gains his zone to Holston. Holston a backhand shot on, and Babs able to hold it with no rebound with 3:20 in this third period, 4-4.
The communication has been great down the stretch. You'd love to see a little bit more there. Sullivan was wide open. The right-hander on the back post, that was an easy one-timer if Holston knows he's there. But you also have to think Holston with 2 goals tonight's really feeling it and thinks he might be able to get that backhander to go. Either way, just happy to see it on net.
Kowalczyk a wrist shot on, and Babs was able to see it last second and put his save up. Boss. He'll chip it into the neutral. That'll be played in by Joy. Sooners working on it. Brown tries to leave it in front, and Kowalczyk lifts the stick of Joy. Block shot by Hurl for Arizona State, but it's still in the zone. Klein in the corner. Up to the point. Hurl gets pushed in the back. Arizona State unable to get out of their own zone. Now gets finally pinned in the corner. Kowalczyk now controls it behind his own net. Moves over to Geely. Geely couldn't chip the puck. As eating the check that time was Jolly. Jolly gets it right back. The clap shot on, and that's a blocker save by George. Klein turns it and tries to slow it down as Arizona State's finishing off a change. Sullivan will tip it and gain the zone and retrieve the puck. Sullivan cuts down Giamona, throws him in the corner. 2 minutes now left in the game, and we're tied 4-4. Giamona trying to get his head up. He'll elect for the soft chip. York's intercepted in the neutral zone. York, indirect pass off the boards, and Jet Larson will dump it in. Holston's able to intercept the pass from Babb. Now in the corner, fighting for it. D'Souza up in the neutral zone. Second effort will finally allow him to gain the puck in deep. Studioso gets the puck back from Holston. As the Sun Devils aren't really moving their feet too much, just trying to gain that red line. Weird dump off of the defenseman in white, and the Sooners are in their own end. Finch comes in. Oklahoma gets a free breakout as Arizona State was going for a quick change. Shot on, that's blocked by Kowalczyk. Geely will stick it out into the neutral zone. It looks like both teams are pretty hesitant right now, just trying to get in a good flow. Under 60 seconds, Oceanside Ice Arena. Surely the goal, if it comes under this 1 minute of a play, it's probably going to be the one that's going to win it. Kowalczyk getting harassed by Beam. Beam finally collects the puck, but it's a nice defensive play by Hurl to play it out. Klein, a tight turn, evades the forechecker, Pard. Lara intercepts for Oklahoma. Kowalczyk throws Lara down the corner. Budman trying to get the puck off of Pard, and he's finally able to. Kowalczyk, indirect pass, just out of the reach of Sullivan. He's trying to hustle, and he ends up getting in a tie, and the tie goes to the runner that time, Isaac Boss. And Arizona State, with a tired 5-man unit, has to go for a face-off. And a smart play by head coach Tate Green, just calling the face-off, understanding that his team's tired.
Yeah, Brett, and we've seen a lot of the top 2 lines for Arizona State ever since they got that goal that narrowed the lead down to 1-goal difference. We've seen head coach Tate Green really shifting the top 2 lines a lot, and you can tell they're starting to get tired. The legs are getting a little bit heavy. A smart timeout to take right here.
For Oklahoma, they're a little bit back on their heels, especially in the middle end of this third period once the Sun Devils clawed their way back into it and momentum shifting the Sun Devils' way. And for the Sooners, they have to understand as well that they're, again, still in this hockey game. Although relinquishing that lead, they still have a chance to win.
Yeah, and it's funny, the mind can be a really fickle thing, because right now the Sooners, all they can think when they get on the ice and they're losing battles to the Sun Devils is we're playing against a team that's better than us right in this instant. And that's something that the Sun Devils need to capitalize on, because the Sooners, if they turned it on right now, there's a good chance that they could really get ahead and start mounting some good offensive chances. But the Sun Devils are the ones that are carrying all the momentum, and if they can continue that, they can at least cut out the next 17.3.
Looks like the top line's going to be out for the Sooners. Holston and D'Souza in the draw to the left of the goaltender, George. D'Souza plays with it now. 15 seconds left in this third period. Holston's trying to get it out. Studioso finally rims it out, and it'll allow Arizona State for a change. Sullivan was hustling, trying to strip that puck, and he centers it in front, but no Sun Devil there. D'Souza with a quick shot on, and George was able to answer it. And at the end of 3 frames, we're going to overtime with the score 4-4. Sooners came into this period with a 3-goal lead, and the Sun Devils dug deep and were able to win that period with scoring 3 goals, and able to tie it up as we head into overtime.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. You're right, Brett, 2 goals, because they got that big goal at the very end of the second from Holston on the power play opportunity. But you have to love this fight. I mean, we haven't seen this all second half of the season from the Sun Devils. And to bring it out on this Friday night against the Sooners, you just love to see it, as they're clearly, you know, without some top-end players due to injury or sickness or what have you. And right now they are stepping up big time, and they've taken this all the way to overtime. And at this point, you have to think anything can happen.
And in terms of personnel for both teams, for the Sun Devils, you have to imagine Jet Larson's going to be out there, one of the fastest skaters. And with this being 4-on-4, there's going to be a little more open ice to allow and generate speed and chances coming from there.
Yeah, and Yager Larson will eventually be able to come out of the box and contribute, but we might not see that till the last minute or two of overtime pending a whistle. So you expect someone like Klein or Holston, 2 guys that have had the hot hand tonight, to step up and deliver. Although it would be poetic justice if Zachary Kowalchuk can come in and get the game-winning goal in his 100th game. But it's going to take something special to get past either of these goaltenders.
Pardon me, folks, as I haven't had an overtime game, I don't think, this season, and it's actually going to be 3-on-3, so even more ice out there to operate and some exciting action to come. Klein wins the draw, and Kowalchuk's going to collect it in his own end and keep possession of this puck. Again, this is a 5-minute overtime period, sudden death. If not, we go to a shootout. Kowalchuk on the left side, being forced, and he'll turn that puck over to the defenseman, Lazaric. Lazaric over to his partner, White. D'Souza stopping. D'Souza trying to hit Lazaric in front, and Klein's right there in front to take the pass away. White with the puck. A wrist shot on, and that puck is blocked by Kowalchuk with his stick. D'Souza behind the net. So he'll play pitch and catch with Lazaric. Lazaric tries to center that in front, out of the reach of D'Souza. 4:15 in this third period. Oklahoma's going for a change. Miscommunication as it allows Klein to get to the puck first. Klein with the puck. Gives it to Kowalchuk. Klein gets the puck back. He's gassed, so he just tries to get that puck in deep and go for that change if he can. Isaac Boss turns that puck over to Jet Larson. Larson waiting for Geely to get onside. He does. Larson trying to get around the defenseman, Boss, as he gets right into the boards. Up to the point, Studioso walking the line. Saucer pass, tries to get it back from Jet Larson. A good defensive play by Boss. Arizona State now completing the changes. Oklahoma's back on their heels. Studioso trying to walk out of the corner. Studioso on his backhand. Now behind the net. Centered in front of Sullivan. And it's a save by Babb, as he answers a bell in overtime and allows this game to continue. Now it's a 2-on-1 opportunity. Sullivan and Larson. Larson trying to get through, and a sprawling block by Boss is able to stop the pass. Joy for the Sooners on the left side, trying to get around Budman. He's able to. The shot on, and the shot's a little too high over the shoulder of George. Shot's right in front, and George was able to cover that one before the tip of Joy was there to intervene. And with 2:56 left in overtime, it's a draw on the Sun Devil end.
And what action. On one end, you have Sullivan with the one-timer in the slot. A great job to save that by Babb, as he had almost no time to get set. Coming from behind the net in Gretzky's office, and at the other end, Budman gets beat. A great effort by the Sooner forward, and just misses the net.
Geely enters in with Klein. Klein trying to get the shot through, and he gets thrown down. Sun Devils are down with Klein trying to get back up on his feet. If the Sooners can hurry a 3-on-2 opportunity. Beam trying to get that shot through in the redirection, and an athletic save again from George, and the splits. Babb and George showcasing their athletic prowess in this overtime period. Geely snaking in. Geely with the shot on. And Babb was able to snag it with his shoulder and able to freeze it with 2:21 in this overtime. Boy, I have to catch my breath here, as imagine the folks at home have to be enjoying this 4-on-4 game here at Oceanside Ice Arena. Draws one by the Sooners, and Lazarick now. Could be a 2-on-1 opportunity York's going to have to deal with. York ends up getting it. Brown in. Oh, and another save by George on the blocker side. As he's in the zone right now in this overtime period. Moving from left to right or right to left, it doesn't matter. He's going to keep that puck out.
And Brett, we mentioned coming into tonight, the Sun Devils going without Bronson Moore, who so far this season has given them the best chance to win. But I'll tell you what, this may be the best goaltending performance we've seen all year for ASU.
Shot one by Hurl. But the Sooners are going to be able to collect it. Passard gets that puck taken away by Jack York. York, a tight turn, 1:55 in overtime. Sun Devils now are able to break out. Jared Hurl, as he'll get slammed into the boards by Lazarick. York's going to be the first man to get to the puck. Tight turn by Hurl. He tries to backhand that one, but it's blocked by the defenseman Lazarick. Taken away. Hurl with a shot on the short angle and misses wide right. Puck's going to rim its way all the way down the neutral zone as the Sun Devils go for a change. York hesitating, faking the pass. He drops it down so he can go for a change to Holston. Kowalchuk cutting through the middle. Drop pass to Holston at the center ice line. Yager Larson. Larson with the shot through, right in front. Holston trying to jam at it, and it's finally blown down by the referee. And both teams are drawing at each other a little bit, as you can feel the emotion at Oceanside Ice Arena on the ice. Palpitating.
Brett, I think my heart's palpitating a little bit right now after all this action. Levi Holston going for his third as he went right to the net, and Babb manages to close his legs together at the last second and secure that puck. Wonderful chances for both teams, and this overtime is not disappointing.
63 seconds left in the overtime period. It's going to be offensive zone draw for the Sun Devils. Holston and D'Souza in the circle. Draw one by D'Souza. Boss takes the hit from Holston, and D'Souza will collect it in his own zone and wheel around. D'Souza through the middle on his forehand. Trying to get around the defenseman Kowalchuk, and a nice poke check by him allows him not to get through. Intercepted. Jet Larson on a breakaway, if he can hurry. Going on the backhand side, and Babb shuts the door. Babb had a little bit of help as it was Isaac Boss trying to track down the would-be goal scorer, Jet Larson, and he went for the backhand side, and Babb was there to answer. Oh, my.
The Montebello, New Jersey native has had a huge game, Brett, but especially late on as Arizona State's applied the pressure in the third and overtime. He has stepped up huge for the Sooners.
Going in the circle, draw one by Raymond Wilson. That'll allow Luke White in his own zone to build up some speed. White gets his pass intercepted. Sun Devils could be on an all-man rush if they hurry, but Jake Geely ends up blowing a tire. Wilson, clap bomb shot. And able to snag it was Josh George fighting the screen from his defenseman Kowalchuk. 20.1 seconds left on the scoreboard here at Oceanside Ice Arena. Beam and Klein in the circle. Beam's trying to hustle to it. Geely is trying to pin him, but he ends up losing the race. Giamona going backwards, trying to get that shot through, and that shot's blocked by the stick of Klein. Pard on his backhand side. Pard tries to throw that up. And that'll do it for that exhilarating overtime period. And it's going to be a tough one as one of these teams is going to lose this game in a shootout.
And Brett, I think this is about as fitting an end as you can get to this game. Both teams have showcased a lot of speed, a lot of grit. Oklahoma got off to that lead in the second period. Arizona State clawed their way back in. And what an exhilarating, I think, is the perfect word to describe that overtime. As we had both goalies making miraculous saves throughout the game, and now they're going to get a chance to show one more time what they can do in this one-on-one scenario.
It's like both teams on their season record both have a loss in the shootout. As we'll see one of their records go to 500. It'll now be the native from Fountain Valley, California, Jake Geely, to take the first shot for the Sun Devils. Geely coming in, cutting through the middle. He's trying to open up that angle. Geely with the shot on! And Babb was able to throw the glove up in time and stop it. It'll be Clayton Brown, the 5'10", 150-pounder from Peoria, Illinois, to take the first shot for the Sooners. The goaltender, George, gives a go-ahead to the referee, and Brown will pick it up. Brown on his forehand side. Brown shaking, moving to the backhand side, and somehow the puck stays out. Almost on a rope, just rolling up and down across the goal line, and it stays out.
My, oh my, that puck, there must have been an opposite magnet stuck in the back of the net. That puck just somehow miraculously jumped over and out.
Gavin Klein now for the Sun Devils. Klein hesitating, and Babb again. They test him twice to the glove hand, and Babb is able to answer.
Brett, if we can go back for a second, I don't think I've ever seen a save quite like that from Joshua George. Absolutely amazing.
Paulo D'Souza, he's got a goal tonight in his second game of the season. D'Souza coming in. D'Souza with a snapshot, and he beats George to the left-hand side on the ice. And the Sooners will take the 1-0 advantage in the shootout. Bradley Budman's going to have to score in order to have the shootout continue. The defenseman Budman slowly cradling the puck into the zone on his backhand. Budman opens it up on the 5-hole, and it stopped. And the Sooners win a thriller in Tempe. Great showcase by both teams. And for Oklahoma to come out with this one tonight was just a teeter-totter of a game, almost 50-50, as that game, like you were saying, Al, ended up going into a shootout.
Yeah, a great shootout. Both goalies making some big saves. And it was D'Souza, the veteran, who came in tonight. Head coach Josh Burge knew exactly what he was doing, as we saw last year what D'Souza could do. And he came in tonight. He provided a spark for Oklahoma and was a bit of a nuisance as well. And he ends up getting that GWG for the Sooners. And they get to go home happy after an amazing 65+ of hockey tonight.
Unbelievable by both teams, especially both goaltenders tonight here at Oceanside Ice Arena. As it ends up being the number 14 Sooners with a 5-4 win in the shootout. As we welcome you into the Oh Boy Alberto Beef Jerky press box, I'm Brett Vaughn here inside Oceanside Ice Arena in Tempe. So we get everything settled, and allow me to maybe even take a drink of water, as what a game we just witnessed here on Arizona State Hockey YouTube. For the Sooners, Niall, as I welcome my partner in crime, Niall Cooper. Niall, we saw tonight the Sooners get out to that early lead, but it was the Sun Devils collectively together clawing their way back into this one in the third period.
Yeah, I mean, a spectacular game. I think we've talked about it. I don't know if there are enough superlatives to go through what we saw tonight from Arizona State to get back into this game. But my goodness, I mean, you just have to clap your hands just to the Sun Devils, because that's an effort that we have not seen in a long time. And to see it come out tonight against the 14th ranked Sooners, down 3 goals on home ice, it doesn't get more desperate than that, and a heck of a job to get back into this game.
Now, when we were alluding to in the pregame show that the Sooners had some injection with new players coming in from that period from the winter break, and Paulo D'Souza was one of those players, and he contributed big time tonight.
Yeah, he certainly did. Both D'Souza and Pard came into the lineup tonight, but it was D'Souza who really stepped up for the Sooners, and he was all over the ice. You know, defensively, he was making good plays with his stick. Offensively, obviously scoring goals, making plays and passes, and also getting in the heads. And that's something that we also saw for Arizona State from Yager Larson, as he was making passes, getting some assists out on the ice, getting in the head of the Sooners. But Larson ends up taking that misconduct in the third period, misses the end of the third and basically overtime. And D'Souza, meanwhile, maintains that fine line where he's both aggressive but not getting himself into bad situations where he puts his team at a disadvantage. And I think that's a difference where you saw the Pests for Oklahoma end up being the better of the two.
And now it's for tonight's OxyPal player of the game. Who's your player of the game tonight?
Well, my OxyPal player of the game, he certainly provided a heck of a punch, but especially late was number 35, Phil Babb, as the Sooners were really under pressure, and you could tell they were in that bend but don't break mentality. And if it wasn't for Phil Babb, they certainly would have broken, as he made countless saves in the last few minutes of the game and in overtime, and especially going for 3 for 3, making all the saves in the shootout. He's the OxyPal player of the game.
Yeah, great performance again by both goaltenders, and for Joshua George as well. He isn't the number 1 goaltender. It's usually Bronson Moore, but tonight George came in and really showed his stuff.
Yeah, Joshua George, unfortunate for him, as I checked the stat sheet here, coming into tonight, George was 0-5 on the season, and he had to come in and play mop-up previously against UNLV. And to come in tonight, you know, you really thought he was going to get his first win of the season the way he was playing. I mean, he was a man-possessed, making crazy saves, going post to post, getting the glove saves, and then that save in the shootout on the first opportunity for the Sooners. The puck just seemed to be on a string as it bounced over his pads and managed to stay out, as he put in a heck of an effort for Arizona State and nearly helped them get the win.
And for Arizona State as a team collectively tonight is a fight and a fervor that I don't think we've really seen even all season, again, with this being a young group. And finally, I think this might be maybe a turning point, although they didn't win, to come up and put this performance in tonight.
Yeah, and you know, when we go back to the last weekend against UNLV, when they came in here and they really took it to Arizona State, there was just a sense of, you know, degradation and just a lack of enthusiasm or even, you know, enjoyment in having, you know, the opportunity to come out and play this great game. And tonight they definitely showed that they were in it from the first drop of the puck all the way to the end. They never took themselves out of it mentally. Maybe in little stretches here and there they did, but they maintained that effort. And, you know, whether it was the first line, the fourth line, the D pairing stepping up, a big save by the goaltender, everybody was pulling on the rope tonight for Arizona State, and that's what allowed them to come in and provide such a good effort and nearly take down the 14th ranked Sooners.
Well, partner, it was a lot of fun. We can't wait for tomorrow and for tomorrow's broadcast here from Oceanside Ice Arena. It's going to be at 6:55 Arizona Standard Time as the second game in this 2-game series between the University of Oklahoma Sooners and Arizona State on tomorrow at 6:55 p.m. Arizona Standard Time. Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. And we'd also like to say thank you for some special individuals that helped make this broadcast possible.